So I'm the son of two immigrant parents. I'm a brother to two older sisters, an uncle to a nephew, and a husband to a beautiful wife. I'm also a visual artist. I don't know, I like to think of myself as a visionary, it's like an ideologist, someone who dreams, and someone that believes that they can accomplish what they set their mind to. God knows, when I talk to my wife or you talk to friends that know me or my family, it's like I'm always coming up with these radical ideas, things that I want to do and things that I want to accomplish. So I know that I do not lack the imagination to come up with things that I think are achievable, no matter how ridiculous they may sound sometimes, and no matter all the funny looks that I may get, from people who I may be sharing these things with. But that's who I am. I can't help but be that way. I can't help but want to think of things that may sound impossible and formulate ways of how to accomplish it and how to go about accomplishing something that may seem impossible. One night, just kind of, serendipitously, I'm trading and I'm staying up late at night trading because I'm on the West Coast and I'm trading on East Coast time. And I have all my monitors up and I have all my charts up and I've logged all my numbers and I put everything in my journal. I have Bloomberg and I'm watching the NASDAQ, I'm watching the Dow, oil, futures and gold and all, I'm like looking at all these things. And I think I know what I'm doing. And day in and day out, I'm staying up late at night. And I'm stressed. And I'm managing my money. And it's my money that I'm managing. And I'm having a hard time staying awake. And I'm stressed. And I have to stay awake. And it's night after night and night after night and night after night. And some nights are exciting and some nights are not so bad. But it's this emotional roller coaster. And I'm trying to master this emotional roller coaster so that I can become a successful trader. And it's just getting to the point where it's just like, I cannot figure this out. I have to find a way to detach myself from this experience. And so I buy a canvas and I buy some paint and I told myself, I'm going to paint tonight. I'm going to work on the painting. I'm going to paint. So I set my room up where I have everything. I rearrange my furniture to accommodate a desk so I can put my paint on there, my brushes, and this canvas. And the night starts. Again, I have all my numbers, I have all my charts, I have everything ready to go. Place my trades in, and I start painting. The next thing you know, it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm wide awake. I feel great. I manage all my trades, and I have a completed painting. And that painting is called Transcendant. And I remember holding my painting and being like, wow, this was so profound. This was like so powerful. It was almost, it literally like removed me from this, what I was considering to be a toxic environment for me, where I didn't feel good, staying up late, trading, being stressed. And it basically replaced that with this feeling of like, wow, like I have something tangible here in front of me that I've actually finished and it's beautiful. And it's here. I have something to show for my night's worth of work. And I loved it. As an artist, I really look at myself. I really reflect on my life. And I kind of meditate on my life experiences. And from this, I pull what I'd like to think as ideas, as concepts to build upon. I believe that you have to have a knowledge base of artists that have come before you. So in essence, know about art, visual arts, other arts, not just the visual arts, but learn about the different arts and artists that have passed, the baton to you. There's artists that have done things and created things and you know, have opened doors and created opportunities and done so much for me, people like me, to be here today creating art. And so I think as an artist, you also have to have that. You have to have that knowledge base and that understanding of what has come before me. What have artists done, you know? And appreciate that, because I think that also lends to you as an artist, me as an artist, and expands on my work and allows me to be more fluid, allows me to bring new ideas, new concepts, allows me to take on different challenges. You know, just knowing that there's, you know, the forefathers right before me that have gone through the exact same thing, you know, and have done it successfully, you know what I mean? And so they've kind of lent this path for other artists to follow and say, hey, you can take it and continue going, you know, just don't stop, don't look back, just continue going. So I think that's the second integral part to being an artist. And I would say that maybe the last thing would be, as an artist, you have to have a level of mastery over your craft. If you're creating something, I think the process of creating something is very personal. I think it's kind of why I do what I do, because of that experience of creating something. It's very personal and intimate to me. But at the end of the day, when you are finished creating something, others get to appreciate what you've done. And you want to value that just as much as the process. You want to value the end result just as much as the process, right? Because, you know I enjoy the process very, very, very much. But at the end of the day, when others appreciate your work, they only get to see the final piece. And I think as an artist, it's your responsibility, our responsibility, to be able to display what it is we want to say, whether it's through music, whether it's through visual arts, whether it's through dance, whether it's through writing, in a way where people understand and can appreciate what it is you're sharing with them. And I think that goes back right into, well, what is the mastery of your craft? How well have you mastered your craft? How well are you able to communicate? How well are you able to deliver on what it is you're trying to fulfill and trying to complete? You know, so I would say like these are the three things that I would say to me are integral parts to being a visual artist or an artist in general. Being in nature, and it could be anywhere. It's not anywhere specific. It can be anywhere where you're just in the elements, you know, with nature itself. That I think it really connects with me, and it frees me, you know. It's like this liberating feeling to know that there's just so much more going on than you know what I mean? It's like, don't be so full of yourself, you know, like appreciate that there's something so much grander than you, you know, and allow yourself to experience that, because I think there's so much more to gain, you know, from that, if you can make that connection. So that to me is, you know, the most inspirational thing that I've experienced. You know, it's something that, you know, I feel like it's like a fountain, you know, and I want to go back to that fountain and drink from that fountain as much as I can, and when I get that opportunity, you know. And it can even be as simple as, you know, if you can, and it's dark enough at night, just laying down and stargazing, you know. It could be something as simple like that if you can't get out into the, you know, whatever you want to call it, the wilderness, or out into like this rural place where there's nature around you, you know. But finding that time and finding that space to allow yourself to make those connections with nature, you know. And I find that to be, I find those moments and those times in my life to be the most inspirational times of my life. And this is why, you know, I've created Juke, which is a business of mine that I just started. You know, interesting question that you asked this, but I just started Juke literally, and it's a program where I'm going to be working with families in the community, underserved families, and I'm giving them and their children the opportunity to learn soccer. You know, I started a soccer development program, and they're going to come and their child can be a part of this program for free. And I work with another organization, Beacon, and they work in the community. It's a non-for-profit, and together we are making soccer accessible to these families. And so this is a part of my life where I'm I'm using what I know and what I'm passionate about to give back to the community. And my art is the same thing, you know. It's like I want my art to be accessible to people, you know. I mean, yes, it's nice to have someone buy your art and collect your art, you know. And I think it's a beautiful thing to have that acknowledgement from the community when someone says, hey, you know, I'm willing to, you know, use my hard-earned money to purchase your artwork. That means a lot to me. And at the same time, it also means a lot to me to make my artwork available to those who can't afford it, you know. That, you know, maybe the only chance they get to see my art is if they go to some sort of public space to see it, or they go to a museum to see it, you know. And, well, how I would love to have my artwork displayed in a museum. That would be fantastic, because then I know that it would reach, you know, a mass audience of people and they get to appreciate my artwork. You know, so that's always a driver. That's always something that is in the forefront of my mind when I do things is, you know, how is this going to impact the community? How is this going to better the community? How is it going to improve, hopefully, the lives of others?